Very good friend of mine, he's a pastor of a very large church. They didn't have kids, and me and my wife had kids, and at that time we had my son, and every time we'd show up to a service, he'd always, he'd play with our kid, and he and his wife were very, very sweet people and great pastors, and they were doing great ministry, but they didn't have a kid, and there was a bunch of teenagers in his church who were sick and tired of going to school, and every time the school kids would tease them and say, hey, how come your pastor doesn't have a kid if your God is a God? So they fasted for 40 days and prayed, and now he has 6 kids. And so it's like, but they said, we can't go to school anymore and listen to a bunch of kids tell us that our God is not God because our pastor doesn't have a kid. And so they stayed in the church for one summer a couple years ago and prayed and said, God, you have to answer our prayer. Our pastor needs a kid because the world needs to know you're God. And this is how they seem to know that you're God. So again, it all depends. It's like children are a heritage from God.